What is up, fans? Miami Dolphins Roundtable here on the AFC East Roundtable Network. I got my man CB83. TD will be here. He's busy producing,
He
doing his
hiding.
thing.
He hiding. He
He's
hiding.
scared of CB. We all know it. We all know it. But CB, how you doing today, man? First
Hey,
joint practice, Dolphins Falcons. How you feeling about it,
the
man?
Miami Dolphins finally got to hit somebody else, so I'm excited. I heard some good reports. I heard some bad reports. I
Mhm.
heard it's got to be somewhere in the middle, though, right? So I'm excited, man, and I'm looking forward to this preseason game Friday night, man. The Dolphins are finally playing football again.
We get to watch football. And it's not
Yes,
meaningful, and I doubt
yes,
any starters are going to play, but still, like, I'm actually excited about that. Like, I want to see Skyler. I want to see Mike White. We're going to see Chop.
yeah,
Like, we're going to see
yeah.
all these guys. It's going to be fun. But today, day one, like you said, with ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, though, I was very happily surprised the way that our trenches played
Okay.
because a lot of stuff that I heard throughout camp before we were hitting somebody else, it was like
Yeah.
I was uneasy, but then I'm hearing a lot of like tackles in the backfield from Sealer, tackles in the
Yeah.
backfield from even Benito Jones is getting back there, all those guys. I was happy. And then our offensive line struggled here and there. We
Mm-hmm.
still had the 50-yard bomb, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
Patrick Paul was dominating. Very, very happy to see these things. What's your take on the trenches? Are you feeling better like I am after this joint practice?
Well, I mean, I understand, and a lot of people are panicking about the interior offensive line. I get it. I think we've been here before last year, right?
Mm,
I think going into the season, people questioned guys like Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg. They questioned whether Teron Armstead would stay healthy. Right now, we're dealing with some of that same movement. We're still shuffling guys, trying to get that chemistry. But I understand that once the season comes, like it'll all square itself out, and the Miami Dolphins should be playing good football at that point. And you know, being a previous coach and being a previous offensive lineman, I understand that these things take time in the
mm,
trenches, right?
mm.
The offensive line is typically behind the eight ball in terms of getting everything together, and the defenses are usually ahead. But soon the offensive line will get caught up, and I think we'll see some of that on Friday night once the
Mm.
preseason start. Once the games start, I think you'll see the offensive line kind of get rolling, get into a rhythm, and some of these guys start run blocking and pass blocking, and then they get into a rhythm, and then by the time we're scoring points again. So it just takes time. It does take time.
Yeah, and Butch. I have faith in Butch Berry. I
Yes.
would like a little bit better of a
Hmm.
situation than we had last year, especially with Tua being able to have more time to do the things he needs to do.
Yeah.
But they have them on this alternating scientifical rest period.
Yeah.
Are you worried by some of the injuries? Now, I talked about this a few days ago, how
Hmm.
that you go from doing nothing like for a month and a half, almost 2 months, where they're working out, but it's completely different working out and then going
Yeah.
and playing football.
Yeah.
So some of these like deep tissue type injuries and these like sprains and stuff are going to happen, but they're starting to pile up a little bit. Is it worrying you?
It does, and the science worries me a little bit. I'm kind of old school when it comes to like playing and coaching. Like it's like if I can prepare my body for what's about to come,
Mm,
typically I feel like I'll be all right. Right. I feel like these guys aren't putting a lot of stress on their bodies. They're taking some rest days here and there. I understand that the game is only one day a week, but I feel like you have to build up to that and you have to prepare your body for it. If you don't prepare your body for it, I feel like it kind of shocks your body. And
mm.
then that's when the injuries occur. So as long as these guys are on a program where they're doing stuff on their off days, still doing some cardio, still getting a lift in, I think that could be the difference. And I know the science is one thing, but I just feel like guys got to practice also. Like I feel like in order for you to get kind of understand the offense, understand what the guys next to you is going to be doing, how he double teams, how you guys work together on double teams. I feel like that's important. Like I feel like if you don't get the reps, you won't know how to do it come game time. So hopefully we can see our starting unit start working together gradually and work up to the season to the point where they're really, understanding each other, understanding blocking schemes and how to play well.
Glenn with the $5 donation says, "Welcome back, guys. I look forward to this show. We need to go after Connor. I would feel better. Unfortunately, literally just
Uh,
broke about 6 minutes ago that he signed a 1-year deal, $6 million with the Seattle Seahawks. So
Yikes. So
Connor,
Connor's gone.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was never coming back.
Yeah. People really wanted him to come back, but I think there was really like a trust situation and really like some bitterness there because we didn't sign him to an extension. We didn't kind of give him some money and say, hey, we're going to commit to you long term. So I think he was like, man, I mean, they don't really love me. And that's the business of it sometimes,
Yeah, it
man.
really is.
It's like we love you, but we don't love you for the price that you're asking, right? So that's kind of the business side of it. It sucks, but the Miami Dolphins got to do what they got to do. And, maybe we add somebody else. Maybe we don't. We'll see.
I know we tried out some guys, but the guys we tried out, like Cushenberry and stuff, they're not like starting caliber
Yeah,
guys.
bodies.
Like the depth chart came out. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't really take much value in it, being that they have to put it together for the preseason game. So they kind of just took a bunch of names, threw it at the wall. But you kind of had an idea for the starting offensive line. And, Liam Eichenberg is the starting right guard. He came out and he said he feels more comfortable playing that right guard position versus, a tackle or a center. Then they bring in a potential backup center in Stallway, I think his name was.
Yeah. I mean, we're bringing in some guys. We're working out guys. I think Chris Greer is always doing his due diligence, right? Always looking for bodies, always looking for guys who can fill a void. I think we're working the phones right now for a possible trade. Maybe that's the case. I think they understand the situation that they're in. I think they understand the window that they're in, and I think we want to win now. So if that's the case, I do think the Miami they make a move at some point. So I think it could happen.
They got the money. They got $32 million in cap space right now, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to hold on to it for emergency, but definitely try to bring it over next year. But that would be a very good possibility of sending a fifth to possibly get a backup center. Because
don't we have a lot of draft picks next year too?
Well, it depends. We have 2/3, but we have to see how that all pans out with Wilkins and Hunt. They have to play like a full year, which is stupid. We have a first, a second, 2/3, I think a fourth. Look it up. But yeah, I would be all for trading for somebody.
Yeah.
Especially because we don't know what's going on with Isaiah Wynn.
Yeah, and that's my thing too. Like here, I don't like relying on hurt guys. It's like, bro, it's like not at the offensive line position. It would be one thing if, he was like Armstead and he was kind of working his way back and not injured, but it doesn't seem like we're going to have him for a while. So if you can't find somebody that's suitable in that spot and that can really man that role and command that role, I feel like you got to go get a guy. But it's also kind of late in the game too. Like you're already in the camp. You're already installing your offense. The good thing about the Hunt and the Liam Eichenberg situation is that there's some familiarity there. Like they understand the offense. They understand how guys play. They're going to be third year in the system too. So they might be better than a guy who, comes off the street and who's talented just because they've been in the system. They understand how each other play off each other. So it's a tough call. It really is.
So next year they have 1-1, 1-2, possibly 2 3s. We'll see how that pans out. 1-4, 2 5s in a trade with Chase Edmonds to Denver. No 6, but 2 7s because of the trade with Chase Claypool. We sent them a 6. They sent us a 7th for this year. So yeah, you're right. We have
draft picks.
We have draft picks.
Yeah. So
available.
Exactly. If you can find somebody, go ahead and shoot off one of them draft picks. Maybe package them. I don't think we really have any players we want to get rid of, but because I think the roster's kind of set at this point. But yeah, I think if you can find a guy who's maybe on the verge of getting cut on another roster, right? A good player, a talented player. Or maybe even a guy just looking for a better situation who wants to be a starter in the NFL, right? There's a lot of guys like that out there who are, on the verge of being starters, feel like they can be starters, but sitting behind a guy because they got a guy in front of them who's better. So if you make the calls and you feel like you got a guy and you watch the film on him and you see him practicing well, I think you take a chance on him for real.
Plus, if some teams are going to just cut him anyway, they probably want to try to, once
get
we get
compensation.
Closer,
yeah. They want compensation for sure.
Because that's the other thing. They're going. They got to go from 90 to 53. So there's going to be there's going to be a lot, like 30 something players off of teams in like one shot. So there's going to be possible trades happening. But unfortunately, Connor Williams. It is what it is.
It's the nature of the game. Yeah.
3 guys bet on themselves. 2 won, 1 lost. And, the loser was Connor Williams. He got hurt and, no one wanted to pay him the big money. I think if Connor Williams didn't get hurt, I think we re-sign him.
Oh, of course. And I think there's no doubt about it. I think if he is healthy and he's still available, I think Miami definitely re-sign him. And I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but I think it's something that Connor would have took, like a $6 million deal, like what he got paid. It may be 2 years, 15, 2 years, 14, but I think that would be good. He was playing really well at the time. So
the team definitely fell off every time he was off the field. Buffalo game, he got hurt. Our offense fell off. Titans game, he got hurt. Then the whole second half of the season. So. You need that center.
And he's such a good run blocker too. Connor is one of those weird cases where, hey, he's a center, but he moves like a guard. He can get up to the next level. He can cut off Mike linebackers. He's athletic enough to kind of run the hump and get around guys and position block on zone schemes. So that's the great thing about Connor, but he just couldn't stay healthy for us. I think if he stays healthy, there's no doubt he's still a Miami Dolphin. No doubt.
100%. And he would have probably been making around $10 million a year, give or take.
For sure. Hey, we got one more. We got one more super chat up there, Doug. One more.
I can't show it, but it's Ayo Miggy, been a member for 8 months. Is my favorite guys. What's good, fellas? What's good, Miggy?
What's good, Miggy? What's good? We in here.
But today was the start of it. It's picking up.
It's picking up. It is.
It's a month. It's a month from Thursday is the kickoff. Dolphins, Jaguars. A month, 4 weeks.
It's crazy, man. I'm excited. It's fine. It's finally kind of getting here. Camp is like treacherous for players. It's a lot of time banging on each other and like learning the offense and playing football. But it's going to be good to kind of see the guys go out Friday night, compete. You see some of the younger guys are going to get a ton of reps. I'm looking forward to seeing, hey, maybe we see Cam Smith kind of work his way in and get some reps. Hopefully we can see some of the young and up-and-coming players that could be the future of the Miami Dolphins. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for some of these guys to be core guys for our future, so we can lock them up and they can be long-term players for us. That's what we're looking for.
So I talked about this today on my channel. Who do you like better, Mike White or Skylar Thompson?
Who do I like better? Man, as a player, I gotta go Mike White, right?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Skylar Thompson, but the Skynet really makes it difficult. They really make it difficult, Doug. Like, it would be one thing if they were like, oh, Skylar, he's a third-string quarterback. He's coming along. We just want him to get better. We want him to beat out Mike White, right? That would be one thing, Doug, right? But these guys are like, oh, he's better than Tua. He's like, come on, bro. Like, are we serious? And that's what makes it hard. I really want to root for Skylar. Honestly, I want Skylar to be our backup quarterback. I think that would be ideal. And we can get rid of a guy like Mike White and maybe bring in somebody else who is getting paid a lot less, right? But it's just tough, right? You want a formidable backup. Mike White has played he's played more starting football, more NFL football than a guy like Skylar Thompson. He's more proven. So that's why they brought him in, and that's why they gave him the opportunity to be the backup. So I love Skylar Thompson. I love Mike White. I mean, I just want them to be okay if Tua goes out. I want either one of them to come in and win games.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm just not a fan of Mike White. It's just, I think it's because back-to-back years it was that competitive, consistent. Like, okay, one game really good, next game he did well, got hurt, and then it's just, and I like Skylar better. I like his the way he works. It's his mental. For me, Skylar's mental is what's holding him back. And in this offense, you need to have that quick decision making to get the ball out quick. And Skylar's not there. Like I remember in 2022, a lot of times I'm breaking down the film and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, you had the throw, but he second guessed himself. Like, yes, he was a 7th round rookie who got thrusted into the starting position.
It happens.
But there was times where I'm like, he has the arm. Like he can make the outs, he can make the deep goes, he can make the throws, but he just second guesses himself. And it bit him in the butt a lot, especially that Bills playoff game. A lot of people want to blame Waddle for certain drops. A lot of those balls were underthrown because he would second guess when he would need to get that ball off. He got it with those go routes. You got to throw it at the right time.
And Doug, we remember seeing Skylar in the preseason as a rookie, and we were like, man, this kid is throwing the ball well. His confidence was there. He wasn't gun shy. And I feel like once we saw him in the regular season, he just got gun shy.
Yeah, 100%.
And he wouldn't take the chances. He wouldn't fit the ball in there and make the plays. And that's, I think, the Jets game where he just wouldn't take shots. It was like, man, you got the opportunity, seize your opportunity. Let's think about this. If Skylar came out and played really good football, right? We're not talking about Tua. Maybe we're not
wrong.
Maybe we're not having conversations about Tua. That's what a backup who comes in and does well can do. In an NFL,
talk about Skylar? Don't be talking about Skylar. It's tour time, baby. Let's go.
Hey, this dude here. Hey, you gotta.
This is not wrong, man. If Skylar came out when we needed him to, and he was just lighting it up, we'd have another Brock Purdy on.
We would have another Brock Purdy on our hands, bro. It's crazy.
But he didn't. So we have Tua Tagovailoa.
Exactly.
Who y'all voting for, baby?
Tua and Hill. That's what I'm voting for. Tua and Hill 2024. Let's go.
Be on the right side of history. Let's go. My bad, man. I'm sorry for being late, y'all, man.
Oh, good. We held it down.
Yeah. We held it down. Always.
So why we talk about QB1? Why we discussing Skylar?
He QB1 now.
Oh, I was asking.
My bad.
I was asking CB who he liked better in the backup role, Mike White or Skylar Thompson, because I'm not a Mike White fan, and I'd love to see Skylar be the backup.
Well, I'll say this: he making it tough for Mike White and Kemp. But let me say this too. Skylar's making it tough for Mike White and Kemp, and I feel like Skylar is playing barely better than Mike White. But every time you say Skylar getting some momentum, he need to come out here on this series and start separating. He don't separate.
He go ghost.
He don't separate, and that's the problem. It's like you putting some good reps in. This is where you set, because you could tell the snap count in practice. It's almost like they've been trying to feed Skylar.
Question for you, TD. Question for you. Is Skylar a mental midget? Does he get in the way of himself when it comes to being mentally focused and being mentally locked in?
You know what? I'm not going to say that. I think Skylar is like a Tannehill in this sense. He needs the O-line to be great for him.
Oh, okay.
Whether y'all may not realize this. Now, we saw Skylar's rookie year. He can get out the pocket and escape or throw on the run, but he ain't no mobile guy like I thought he was. He's not mobile.
Hey, y'all thought he was Vic. Y'all thought he was Mike Vick.
I ain't saying all that. He has arm talent, though. It's just that he's a pocket guy. Skylar was standing there like a statue looking, and when that pressure come, okay. like he's not, how Tua escapes the pocket.
Yeah,
at least he knows it's coming and stuff. Yeah. Skylar there, man. He's just like, man, y'all just do y'all job so I can do mine. And if you don't, I'm gonna look bad. So Like, I'm starting to realize Skyler has talent, but when you get every 3 reps or 4 reps where the O-line is that bad, he ain't gonna ever be able to showcase his fullest potential. But it also is a knock on him for needing that to be able to show his fullest potential. So I think we have something in Skyler, but the problem is with this offensive line makeup, we really can't see it. Just like Tua, and people have been arguing this for years. I mean, Tua makes, like, put it like this. Tua makes plays in training camp right now least frequent than he ever has in training camp since I've been going. But it ain't his fault. This O-line is worse than I've ever seen. There's a mistake on almost every other play. I'm already complaining about an O-line when there's a mistake 1 every 5 plays. There's a mistake 1 every other play. So I'm saying you can't really gauge these guys. Like, half of the highlights y'all see coming on Twitter, CB was there.
But do you think
they sacks?
So I was there, right? But I think what people fail to realize is that these aren't game reps where you're moving the football. I think once the games begin, right, it's different from drills, right? Some plays you're running, some plays you're passing. I don't think our guys give up that type of pressure once the games happen, because I feel like it's different in a sense, because you can keep the defense off balance because you're playing the play calling game. You're playing the chess game with the defense.
Yeah, but here's what you have to consider. We panicked last year at the O-line in camp, but when we came out in the regular season, quick passes didn't matter.
We were rolling.
But here's the problem. We're going to do the same thing this year because we have to, right? But what they're doing in camp right now is preparing for that Baltimore defense, that Bills defense, that Chiefs defense. You know, the ones we struggle with. That's why I'm in love right now, because I've always said if our defense isn't going to play us the way those good teams play us, then we can't get better. And we're practicing that way. They're making it tight. Everything's shut down in the middle, and that's why it's been a little harder. But here's the deal. When you still play those teams, we'll be better equipped, but it also shows you the biggest issue is the O-line. You can ask Tua to go to another level all you want and overcompensate for it, but it's only so much he can do.
I get what you're saying. I just feel like once you get into the season, right, and you start playing actual games, things do change a bit in terms of like offense tempo, the way you call the game. Because
until you play those great teams that scheme to you.
And sometimes you play the good teams that scheme to you, right? And they stop your outside runs, and you have to find a way to do something else. You got to find a way to beat them somewhere else. So I think that's a challenge that Mike McDaniel will face, is that, hey, when you go into these games versus really good defenses, you got to find a way to be versatile and come up with other ways to beat teams outside of what you do really good. Because if they take away what you do really good, what can you do to counter that? And I think that will be our challenge going into the season.
And go ahead, Doug.
We talk about the things that Tua needs to get better at, which we all know. That's something, and we talked about this the last show we were on, Mike McDaniel needs to do.
Exactly.
He needs to be able to, make that change and adjust, because they're gonna scheme for us. The first 5 or 6 games, we're gonna be hitting people in the mouth. It's that second half of the season where people are scheming for us that you need to make those adjustments, man.
And I feel like this. I feel like teams have saw some film right now, and they kind of got a grasp for what we do and what we do really well, right? And I feel like Mike McDaniel needs to do something else. He needs to add something else to the offense's repertoire. Maybe that's being physical. Maybe that's running the ball up the middle or using some gap scheme plays. But he's got to find something to counter what he already does well, because as soon as teams figure out, hey, this team likes to run outside, they want to run sideline to sideline, they want to be finesse, you got to find another way to beat teams. And that's something he's going to have to do.
Well, let me tell you something. Anytime our receiving core goes 4 wide, 5 wide, disaster.
Why is that?
Because the protection, you got to understand, when we get those big chunks in the middle or those big chunks down the field, people be like, oh, the offensive line holding up. No, we're running 7-man protection. We're running max protect. And people don't notice that. Anytime we're outside of that max protect, because we be running 2- and 3-man routes, and people don't realize that. on a lot of our intermediate 20-yard chunks to Waddle and Tyreek. A lot of our deep balls to those guys, it'd be max protection. That's why Tua could fake the handoff, turn around, and he got a wall around him because you got doubles and sometimes, triples across the line. So I pointed this out in camp when we were there. I was telling everybody around me, you were up there, CB. I was like, anytime we in that 4 or 5 wide, it's a disaster. And sure enough, we trying a lot of 4 and 5 because we trying to get better, but it's a disaster. Every single time the linebacker or the D lineman run past Tua, put their hand up like a sack, but Tua steps up anyway to keep the play going and throw the ball. These would be huge plays, but in real life, they ain't going nowhere.
I feel like we don't do a good job with our hot routes and picking up where it's coming from.
That's
right?
old. That's old news. Tua out there doing a little something right now.
So I feel like if Tua and the offense gets a little better with the hots and understanding where the pressure comes from and being able to turn around in zones and look right away and get them the ball, I feel like we'd be a better football team.
But I've seen some of that in camp now.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've seen
that from Tua.
And I've seen a little bit of that too. I just want our tight ends to be more of a presence in the middle of the field and give us targets, give us easy looks. And that's something we got to work on, whether it's tight end in the middle of the field, swing route by the running backs, check downs. We got to find a way to use the entire field.
Well, I'm concerned about Jonnu Smith.
Why?
He be dropping that ball. You seen it. He be dropping them passes.
He's had some drops. I think once games start, I'm hoping that it goes away. He hasn't really been a dropper in his career, which is kind of weird to me.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, can we change
he's dropped
that?
He's dropped a few. He's dropped a few.
Man, a little more than a few. Every day is 2 to 3 important ones.
Willie Snead was dropping a bunch today too.
Yeah, I saw it. But you know what? I like Willie Snead route running. He just got to finish.
Good?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he comes in and out of breaks really well. He's a gamer. I didn't know nothing about Willie Snead. I had no idea.
He looked good today. He was getting over.
Oh no, not today. He was dropping everything I heard today.
You didn't go down today?
No. Rip Tupac is down there for me, giving me video and play-by-play. So God. I got funerals to go to this week, unfortunately.
Sorry to hear that, bud.
Sorry to hear that. Prayers up.
It's all good. But yeah, hey, I wanted to ask you, Doug. I wanted to ask you, man. How does it feel to be the number 2 in the year since I done took over? You know,
TD's a tour near now, y'all.
That was a joke, people. That was a joke.
It's funny though, because I saw a few of your streams where you actually were like, "I like what Tua was doing," and people were like, "What is going on? They got the TD."
I've been getting attacked.
TD getting canceled in the Wolfpack community. He getting canceled.
Were they mad at me? But why am I not allowed? If I'm gonna point out all his flaws, and the only reason I point out all his flaws because I always had a stubborn approach to the Dolphins screwing him over. So he ain't gonna ever be amounting to nothing. As long as you don't put him in a pro style system and let him work through his flaws, as long as you trying to put him in just his strengths and not working out his weaknesses so he can get better at them. See, to me, I always had a theory of he's not getting better, but his production is increasing because you're doing what he already does well more. And as long as you keep hiding his flaws, he'll never be a better guy. And I'm seeing him in camp actually working on things that he used to struggle with. And I'm like, dang, it's kind of shocking. So when I see the small intangibles, it's only right to at least report it. I'm still cautious, but it's only right to report it. And people are not happy. Dang, I really do understand what the hater term is because people don't care if he becomes Brady. They don't want him to become Brady. Exactly. And that's a different kind of level of that's hate to me.
That's sad though.
And then you say that they're haters. I don't hate them. Why would I hate him?
Why wouldn't you want him to? Why wouldn't you want him to be the guy, especially after you sign the long-term deal? Exactly. It's all you got. So why wouldn't you hope that he becomes the guy? That doesn't make sense to me. Now you can believe that he never will. That's your opinion. But to be like, man, he ain't gonna ever amount to nothing, and I hope he don't. Now you're crossing a whole different line. And I'm trying to find a word opposite to in the ear. For those people because
Wolfpack.
You know what, we're gonna run with the Wolfpack because that's a pretty bad way to look at it. Now I see the people that have been like, yeah, TD, you're right, but y'all got a whole different kind of right. The whole time, y'all really just want to see his downfall. Now, that is a whole nother different level.
Well, it's crazy that you're just noticing that, TD. You just noticed that there's people out there like that?
Well, here's the deal. When you point out the flaws and you pissed off at the team and the coaches for bringing him up the way that he is and never getting him the support, I have no belief in his future. You know, so, and that's what I'm locking in. So when these people are agreeing, that's all I'm hearing is the agreement of my take.
Yeah.
But, you know, and yeah, whenever you have a bad Sunday, I call him trash because I'm mad at the moment. And that's just typical. And those people echo that. But now when you point out the good that you see, you actually see the true character of them. I'm thinking they can be like, oh, great. I'm glad to hear that. Let's roll.
Nah, you ain't getting none of that, dog.
Boy, these people really don't like that, man. I realize that on a different level now.
I said to somebody, as long as he's wearing that jersey and that logo on his helmet, I'm going to root for him.
Yeah.
And they said, so you're going to root for him, blah, blah, blah. Even through, I'm like, what else am I going to do? I rooted for Tannehill. I rooted for John Beck. I rooted for Cleo Lemon.
Why does it stop with Tua though? But why does it stop with Tua? Why can't we not root for our quarterback?
No, well, for me at least, it wasn't about rooting for the quarterback. My ex-girlfriend really hurt me bad. Tannehill, she hurt me bad, man.
Tannehill didn't hurt you like that, man.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I rode for Tannehill like no other. Ain't no bigger. It was no bigger Tannehill fan.
But I rode for Tannehill too. But we understood at one point, we were like, man, this marriage is over. And that's just how it's got to be.
I understood when the marriage was over. I said it's best for both parties. I didn't see like, no, let's keep him. I never did that. But I rode for Tannehill. He could do no wrong. Every excuse in the world was to his disposal, and I would use it because that's our guy and he can be great. Now, I did learn when he went to Tennessee, he could be a guy who can help his team go, but you need everything around you.
Yep.
And that's just the reality. So I kind of told myself, again, I repeat this a million times and I mean it. I'm not going to give a quarterback an endorsement until I know I got a franchise quarterback. And my quarterback better than yours, even if he slightly ain't.
But you got one now. You got one now, and I need that type of energy.
But I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Need that type of energy.
So
I
you
need
know what
it.
the funny thing is, though, I still have not said Tua Tagovailoa is a franchise quarterback. I have still to this day.
I see you correct people on it. And that's why you're a hater. You're a whoop back.
But apparently I'm a Tua-neer to some, especially in the chat over here. But he still needs to get over that hump. When he gets over that hump, and at the end of the year and in the playoffs, all of a sudden he's continuing that play he plays in the beginning of the year, then I'm like, we got him. We're good.
But you do have the optimism in him, though. You do have the optimism in him, though.
Yeah, hope and faith.
Yeah. So and believe it or not, now do I have full optimism into it this year? No. But my optimism has grown because I see them working on things he's struggling in. I mean, in my opinion, the first 4-year tour, you keep him in that little box, you're gonna run out of ammunition every year. You know, you keep it, and now they're opening the box, and you see, and y'all don't understand. I'm appreciating the struggles that I see. With Weaver defense and clog in the middle and him having to not pull that trigger to that spot, by the way. But watching him move to the next one and move to the next one, and I didn't have enough time, but that's fine. You making the attempt and you growing. That's what he got to do. The longer he does that, the better he'll get. But we don't know. Here's the only thing I'm scared of. Because this is what I've always believed. It's going to be growing pains doing that.
Of course.
And are we going to abandon it if things start getting rough? You see what I mean? When the regular season starts and you get in the nitty gritty, all right, get rid of that. Let's get back to what we all, that's all I'm a little worried about. But I like that I'm seeing it in training camp.
Yeah, man, we've seen, it's year 5, right? We're going into year 5. Tua is still a young quarterback. In my eyes, a quarterback who's in his first 4 years in the NFL, I feel like he's still a young guy. So I feel like we gotta give Tua some time to grow, and I think Tua can grow, and we can win games at the same time and win playoff games. I think that's possible in today's NFL.
I like what what TD has said about Tua in the past, where they tried to coddle him a little too much, and they tried to like with
They tried to put him in a box, like be a
Yeah.
game manager.
like Flores would just be
yeah.
like, listen, my defense is going to win us games. I just
Right.
need you to do this.
Yes.
Whereas like what we needed to do is listen, you ran this in Alabama. That's not going to work necessarily in the NFL. We're going to broaden your let Chan Gailey do Chan Gailey things his rookie year. He should have sat and Chan Gailey should have taught him how to broaden his horizons. Not my defense is going to win. I just need you not to be stupid.
Yeah.
So, and that seems like
that hinders guys.
Mike McDaniel's slowly starting to, okay, you've got the concept of the offense. You got a little more. Now we're going to broaden it a little bit more and do this. So
yeah,
hopefully it turns a page, because they got 2 more years. That's the out in both their contracts. Tyreek Hill and Tua.
He'll be here. He's our franchise guy.
You noticed that about the contract. Tyreek's actually out. Actual out is 2 years.
After 2025, they can move on. No dead cap.
Yeah, I mean you
mean no dead cap?
There's no dead cap after 2025. I'll look it up.
You better go look at that again, though. Boy, you better look at that again. With them voidable years.
Well, from what it's like, potential out 2026, 2 years, 54, $0 dead cap. There's no dead cap. Yeah, if they release him pre-June 1st in 2026, it's $55 million savings, 0 dead cap.
But those voidable years are still hits. We'll own those them orange red numbers.
Yeah, which is.
But here's why there's going to be dead cap though. You think they're gonna take his cap hit next year? They're gonna restructure that boy.
No, it's $31 million. Yeah, they need.
Yeah, they're gonna turn that into signing bonus, and then they're gonna eat dead cap even higher for the remainder years. Same thing with Tua. His contract's getting restructured next year, turning into signing bonus. Now he gonna start hitting us hard in the future, boy. That number.
It's $25 million that can be changed into a signing bonus, which then you can't move on from Tua after 2025. If they do that, you can't move on from Tua. That's why you got to figure out now.
Yeah, you know the crazy part of Tua's contract?
What's that?
You can actually move on after this year, but if you don't, then you're stuck for at least 3 years.
100%.
It's great. Now you're still going to eat a lot of cap if you moved off this year, but you can spread it out for 2 years and deal with it like Denver did Russell Wilson. But that's the crazy caveat to his contract. If you move off right away, you still eat dead cap, but you can get out of it. But if you don't, the amount that becomes guaranteed after this year, you're stuck for at least 3 years.
Yeah, because there's a $25 million roster bonus in 2025, which then they can turn into a signing bonus. But if they do that, then they can't move on in 2026, because in 2026 there's a $38.2 million cap savings.
And then again, you're still gonna turn that base salary into a signing bonus. So you're gonna be pushing it out even further. So I ain't gonna lie, this is a year for Tua.
Yep.
I just, one of the things he doesn't want. Well, here's the thing, his contract is good in this sense. If he gets hurt, we're stuck anyway.
Yeah.
He got injury guarantees almost every year.
Yep.
From the previous year. So
yeah, March. Yeah. He's got those incentives too. I like the incentives they put in his contract.
Will he reach them?
You got the 50% regular season play. You got the wild card division. He can bank about $2.2 million if we win the Super Bowl.
I know Tua like, man, let's go get that money. Show me the shmoney. Let's go.
Genuinely upset he came out and said that.
Hey, you heard that, boy. Hey, and it was
a
bet. He didn't come out and say it. Somebody dared him to say it.
I think it was Daryl Bevell said he won't say it. He's like, I won't say it.
And he came out and said it. Show me the shmoney. Come on, TD. TD was in the building too.
I like it as long as the play on the field, matches it this season. I'm gonna really look back at it and really hate it if it doesn't. Obviously, I think we all would.
Yeah, 100%. If he starts phoning it in because he's got the money, all of a sudden we're all gonna be pretty pissed.
He better not be no bum.
I don't see that.
I like
I
his
don't
new
see that.
confidence now too. You see it in his press conference.
Man, y'all see Tua got his grill done. He talking, bro.
Confidence like that shows up on the field.
Bro,
Like when he knocked over the voice recorder, he was like, "I'll buy you a new one."
yeah.
It's like, all right,
Hey,
T.
Tua different. Hey,
God,
TD, Tua different. Hey,
Hey man, I will say this, man. It's two different tours. It's not like the tour that I met at the pool party. You know, he's a different guy now.
that one would have drowned you.
yeah, he did drown him. He tried to drown him. Yeah,
Should have got in trouble.
Hey, Tua different, man. Honestly, he sounded a lot more confident in interviews. He just is taking command. Did you guys hear the clip where he said, "Hey, bro, it's about accountability.
Yes.
Like we got to be able to have the conversations, big brother, little brother, big brother. We got to be able to have those conversations, man to man, and just talk things out and work through it. And if you can't work through it, get out of the building because we're trying to win games, man. That's what it's about, dog."
Tua, when he said that, I got chills, but he made me nervous. He made me nervous because when you say that, don't be the reason.
Yeah.
No, but see, he could be the reason, right? But you can't be the reason every day, every week you go out of there.
Oh, yeah. I'm
like
just
you may have one or two games, and guys can come to you and be like, "Yo, you played bad. You need to be better next game," and it's gonna make us better, right? So that can happen, but it can't. You got to stack some good games together, and then maybe have one game where you play bad. That's the nature. That's the nature of the position.
I got a question for you guys. So Tua has this new confidence. Tua is the big man on campus. He's the highest paid player. The Dolphins are slowly trickling in interior offensive linemen, just here and there. Do you think he went to Chris Greer and was like, "I can't work with this. You need to fix this"?
Nope.
I think that's a Mike McDaniel, and I think that's a Mike McDaniel conversation, first of all. But I think Tua is having conversations with Mike McDaniel, like, man, I really like us to be better here. And I think Tua is to the point now where he's a big boy. You got to have the tough conversations. You got to communicate with your head coach. I think they have a really good relationship. So I think they understand what they need to be successful. Guys, they watch a lot of film. They watch practice. They break it down. They watch every throw in practice. They watch every play. They know who's playing well and who's not playing well. So and if they need a guy, they're going to go get a guy. Trust me.
Well, I totally disagree because they've been needed a guy, maybe 2 or 3, but let's just say a guy. And it is a McDaniel's job, but McDaniel think he can work wonders with everything. He put his neck out there for this O-line last year and said that this is good. He had to sit the front office down in a room and help them understand why they good enough. And that's a problem to me. And to Doug's point, do you think Tua is having them conversations? I'm going to say no because I know his confidence went to a new level, and I'm going to assume no, but I sure hope he is. He said he got all the leverage now. You should be in there and get me better.
Exactly.
Get me better. What you gonna do? Cut me for causing ruckus? Get me better. They suck. Stop playing with me. Protect me.
But But you can't do that unless you're the guy. Unless you get paid.
No.
And that's paid. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm saying he can do that now that he got paid. But you can't really do that before you get your deal. And that's why I feel like now you have the leverage to be like,
I sure hope he is.
He's wearing He's wearing that crown.
Hey,
be like,
heavy,
I can't
heavy is the
how
head.
Am I stepping up? How am I doing this? How are we running the ball? How you need to,
tell him, Doug. Tell him, Doug.
And I'm gonna be
going off back there.
2016 since we had a good offensive line. Like, what is going on?
But McDaniel say we got one and they'll be just fine. That's the problem I have. Because nobody believe in you in that regard, Mike McDaniel. You're a genius, but stop it. Please stop it. And Connor just got signed in Seattle a few minutes ago.
Guys, we gotta keep this in mind.
We could have did that easy.
Mike McDaniel does do a really good job at scheming his guys into good plays. Right now, one thing Mike McDaniel does well is he keeps his guys heavy on their hands. And what I mean by that is he keeps them going forward and not going backwards a lot, right? So when it comes to pass blocking, they're not just sitting back there and like blocking a man the entire time. It's more like play action, run action, it looks like a zone scheme run, but it's a pass protection play. So that's one thing he does really well. Like, he's not going to just sit his guys back and say, oh, you're going to tee off on my guys for 3 or 4 downs. It's not going to happen. He's going to run a play action, and he's going to get his guys going forward like it's run blocking. That way the defense doesn't think, oh, it's a pass play, I can just run and tee off on the quarterback. They're thinking, oh, I'm playing my run assignments. So that's when Mike McDaniel does a really good job at that. And I got to give him props in terms of that, because a lot of teams don't do that, and they let their jobs just sit back there and take abuse.
Well, he on the clock this year with that old line, because guess what? Chris Greer don't have to own none of it now. He don't have to own any of it. McDaniel stuck even Tua. Chris Greer ain't got to own him either. Because what did Tua say? McDaniel had called Stephen Ross and had to have a conversation. Because Chris Greer, I know Chris Greer. I'm telling you, this man's ability to survive is second to none. I knew he was playing hardball. Like, Mike, if you want him, call Ross. Like, just obviously, y'all don't blame me.
Bro, that's savage. Hey, that's ultimate savage.
The man said he had to call Ross. The general manager can make that decision and put it on his back. He could put it on his table regardless of what Ross want to do. That's what the general manager's job is. Hey. McDaniel is on the hook. Greer, what?
That's how Greer's still the GM, because of stuff like that.
But let's not trip though. Greer been cooking and he built this thing from the ground up. Like, let's be real. He's been cooking. He is Chef Curry with the pots, bro. Let's go.
Chris Greer, let me tell you what Chris Greer do. Chris Greer go in the fridge, and he go in the kitchen, open the fridge, and say, McDaniel, pick it out. Now, whatever you want for dinner. But make sure when you serve it to Ross, you say, this is my special recipe. My special recipe.
Boy,
Greer wanted me to make you the chicken, but I'm making you the marsala. I don't even know where marsala is, but it sounds like one of them dishes. But man, it's quite crazy to me. We got 400 people in the building. Man, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all punch that like button. We're going to get into the super chats in a moment. But before we do, we want you all to know that this stream is being powered by BetUS. All right, BetUS, the proud sponsor of AFC East Roundtable, and yours truly, the Miami Dolphins Roundtable. Get a 125% sign-up bonus, all right, using the link in the description and the one pin at the top of the chat as well. For your first 3 deposits up to $2,000, you can get that 125% sign-up bonus, ladies and gentlemen. Before we move on, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
So, guys, look at these odds in the division, though. How y'all feel about this? They got us a third favorite odds. Do you think it's cool that they got the Jets ahead of us at plus 180 and we're at plus 200?
It's because of Aaron Rodgers. People think that he's going to come out and play lights out when he even played lights out last time he played a full season.
It's just I think it's just the nature of being a Miami Dolphins fan. We're always going to get undercut somewhere, and that's cool. We'll just fly under the radar, do what we do, and absolutely destroy the division and go get this title.
Watch the Patriots win the division.
Stop.
I'm gonna put $5 on that.
I know, right? Hey, let me say this though, that you bring that up, Doug. I know it's a joke, but if they get Brandon Ayuk, the Patriots are a more solid team than a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
I mean, their defense has always been good. They brought back a lot of the familiar faces and locked them down. And their real issue has always been weapons at wide receiver and the quarterback position. Jacoby Brissett ain't that dude, but he's somebody who can, steer the ship. But you add a Brandon Ayuk, can they cause a little ruckus and, maybe get to about 8 wins and throw a wrench in a few games for some really good teams?
It depends on Mayo. It depends what type, because we're so used to having Bill Belichick.
I heard he ain't looking good, bro. They say I heard that what's his name in the 6th round? 6th round. They got Joe Milton, right? They say he's actually playing very well.
Better than May?
Yes. They said Drake May has been struggling. Yeah, they said Milton is actually, a lot of people say Joe Milton might be the starter week 1. I mean, there's a lot of reports, different analysts coming out saying it, that Milton's playing that well, and he's playing way better than Drake May right now.
I wanted the Dolphins to take Milton and get rid of Mike White and have him as a backup.
I know Milton has a cannon, but I don't like his accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
But they say he is playing at a high level, and I'm telling you, a lot of talking heads on TV are literally saying, don't be surprised if Milton is week 1 starter. I'm like, man.
That's what happens when you play SEC ball, man. You ready for it. I mean, because you play against the best of the best every week. So Joe Milton has definitely played some good football. Like, let's be real.
6th round pick, 193 overall. Brady was a 6th round pick, 199 overall. Could that be?
God. Can't deal with it again.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Oh my God.
He gonna get punished when he play us. Don't worry.
So if you are a Patriots fan and you believe in the hype, that plus 2,500 might be looking insane, but it can really give you a payday, man. We'll keep our eye on that situation. But, before we get out of here, what's your optimism level on the overall team winning their first playoff game this year?
Before today, I was very iffy. But I liked, as much as it was an up and down day today, I liked how they performed against somebody else, especially with the defensive line. We heard a lot of in the backfield tackles, a lot of pressure up the middle, a lot of that stuff.
People are saying overall we lost today.
I heard difference. I heard for the first half we were very dominant on O and D, and then the second half we kind of started around a little bit. Yeah. Out of 10, I would say my confidence is right now, because a lot of people are still banged up. I think I would put about like 7.5 right now.
Wolfpack, what up, TV?
Bro, Wolfpack for real. I mean, I'm at about an 8.5. I think people looked at last season, right? And we beat up on the Philadelphia Eagles, right? In joint practices. They said, oh, the Dolphins are just whooping on the Eagles, right? Yeah. So I don't really take into consideration a lot of the hype around, these joint practices. I just want to see guys go out there, compete, play well, do what they got to do. So I'm not taking the good or the bad. I figure we're somewhere in the middle, and I just put my eggs in that basket. I don't say, oh, we're beating up on the Eagles, so we're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't say, oh, we're losing to the Eagles in joint practice, so we're going to win the Super Bowl. It's like we should be somewhere in the middle. Both are NFL teams. Both compete at a high level. Once we take a look at preseason, how it plays out, I think we'll be fine. And I think we're going to win a playoff game this year. But I think the Dolphins need to do a good job of setting themselves up in the regular season for a home playoff game. I think that's going to be essential. You go win the division, you have it coming through your house in Miami. I think we win multiple playoff games. If you got to go on the road, it's going to be more difficult.
I think that's going to be key. But taking my fandom out of it, I'll have us at about a 6.7. But that's higher than I've ever been. I have high optimism on the defensive side of the ball, especially with the pass rush. I have high optimism with the offense, but this O-line is worse than we've ever been. Now, one thing to consider is Teron Armstead ain't really been putting work in, so hopefully that's the great stabilizer. We shall see, but truth be told, even though our tackles are getting abused here and there in camp, the interior O-line is not looking very well. Robert Jones is probably playing the best football on that line right now, in my opinion, at least.
It's just hard. It's just hard if you don't see the film. It's kind of hard to
well, he's the least. He's noticed the least, which is good, and that means he's doing his job. Eichenberg. Anyway, I ain't gonna talk about the man.
I heard Patrick Paul today was throwing people around, which was
here's the deal. The Patrick Paul always throwing people around,
big dude.
But it's like Patrick Paul is post injury starting to get better. Austin Jackson. I still think Austin Jackson's best version was right before he got hurt initially.
Okay.
I still don't think Austin Jackson got back to what he was right before he got hurt. Remember, he had to build up. He wasn't great at the gate, but right before he got hurt, I felt like Austin Jackson was playing his best football. After he got hurt, he struggled, and then he's come back to, in my opinion, right under that point. Like people, and that's been good enough to get him a contract extension and everything, but I still don't feel like he's gotten to where he was right before the injury. And I'm hoping this year he finally gets there and then starts to build on top of it. But I feel like Patrick Paul is right. I feel like Patrick Paul, honestly, is just as good as Austin Jackson, in my opinion, right now. And that ain't a bad sign, but it's also on that left tackle side of the ball where you got the, which is very important, even though Tua is, different hand, but that's still where a lot of your premium pass rushers like to come from.
Something I noticed before we move on to the donations, I watched the drop back today. I think it was the 50-yard touchdown pass where Tua dropped back right and switched left and then made the throw. I don't know what with that, but
he showed that Lamar Jackson footwork.
I was like,
hey, y'all saw that?
Right.
Yeah, he put it right in the spot. Yeah.
Man, stop playing. You can't spot throw no damn go ball.
Wolfpack.
Golly. Throw the Wolfpack emoji chat. Throw the Wolfpack emoji in the chat for TD and Doug tonight. My goodness. Throw the Wolfpack emoji.
Oh
in the
my
chat.
gosh. But yeah. He's having fun. He's mixing it up a little bit, and that can throw a team off, starting that right. You know who did that last year and everybody was blown away? Lamar. Yeah. Lamar did that.
He killed Javon Holland. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, he killed Javon Holland with that joint. Javon Holland out there dancing, doing
so you're a Holland hater now. Don't do that.
Bro, come on. Tighten up, Holland. Tighten up, Snow.
You know who the player of the defense is going to be this year?
Who?
If you look at how he being used at camp, I mean, this is crazy. I could
think
never
I know
imagine.
who you're gonna say.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bro, that's my Seminole.
Dude, he's making
blitzing all over the field. He in the linebacker, he in the slot, he on the boundary, he coming blindside to the quarterback, and he getting back there at a high rate too.
Bro, a dog. That's my
crazy.
Seminole.
Dude, I'm so happy we brought in a different defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Oh man,
I think it's a breath of fresh air. I think the guys like it too. I think they're energized, they're flying around, they're having fun. So that's good to see.
Hey, yo, Miggy said my favorite guys. What's good, fellas? We great, man. Thank you, Miggy. Welcome back, guys. I look forward to this show. We need to go after Connors. I would feel better. Too late. He is a Seahawk now. As of 20 minutes ago, he got signed by the Seattle Seahawks. I don't trust CB Death. Stephon Gilmore available. I agree with that.
That's not bad.
Now, Ethan Bonner, if they love him, he could provide some good depth. But Cam Smith been banged up, and then on top of it, I still don't think he's arriving.
They say Ethan Bonner the new Trill Williams, man. He getting all the love right now.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah. That's the problem. We keep having these guys that show flashes, but they never come to. Like Kohu out there getting coached up. He's struggling.
Yeah, I mean, in the nickel, you're going to struggle. It's hard.
You remember Sam McGuavin? Everyone was loving him during training
preseason.
camp.
Yeah. He's a preseason MVP.
But why are you mentioning these names, Doug?
But no, Kohu in practice, coach getting frustrated. You could tell after every 2 plays, he coming up to him like, because he getting beat. Especially on those crossers. He's always trailing, and the coach keeps going up to him, like getting in him.
What's our alternative? Is Needham the alternative there?
Well, Needham's made some plays, but again, how often do you see him? His name called, but Needham's making more plays than Kohu. But that cornerback depth could be an issue. Fuller, they're playing with as far as putting them on the ice and then playing them. So Ramsey and Fuller are the guys, but you know who my second breakout player this year is going to be? Cool. In that defense, who's all over the place. He already had the orange jersey.
Quinn Bell?
Nope.
I know you're talking about
Elijah Campbell.
Oh, he's playing well.
He wore that. Yeah, it was a reason he had that orange jersey on, and it made me pay more attention. He all over the place. They're using him just like Ramsey. He's great coverage.
And they're on the field at the same time too. Like they're So he's making plays. I saw him in the backfield a couple of times.
And in coverage, he like a lot of his plays are tight coverage. Elijah Campbell is shocking me because I ain't never pay no attention. I don't pay attention to these guys in preseason. If you're a nobody, but if you catch my attention, I'm saying your name. You out there making plays.
Yeah.
And he got that orange jersey on. He had it on for a reason. I start seeing the plays he was making. So Ramsey and Elijah, that's good for the secondary. And Holland been quiet. Sometimes Holland get beat. Sometimes he taking the mid crosser, leaving the guy back. The Holland be tripping sometimes.
I told you about Holland.
I'm telling you, what I'm noticing, Holland be jumping those 25-yard crossers, leaving tight ends and corners in the middle of the field wide open deep. A lot of them touchdowns, they be on Holland. He be taking the crosser instead of backing out. He be gambling just like Rashad Jones did in his later years, the last 2 years when he struggled.
I think he gets caught looking in the backfield a lot, looking at the quarterback. Bro, if you just play your position, bro,
he's going through reads. See, he ain't used to do it going through reads. He like,
here you go.
Where I'm going, he in the middle.
Wolfpack emoji.
But think about it. You don't think he don't look at Tua tendencies every day in practice for 4 years?
They see it a lot.
And now Tua looking in the middle of the field, Holland going down there, and then Tua look his head up to the next read. And he been getting burnt. He been getting killed off of it. I know he following his eye.
You know what that is? That's Tua manipulating that defense like he good at now.
Nah, he going through progressions like real. I ain't talking about the 1-2. I'm talking about 1, 2, 3. Please, O-line. That's what it is. He's trying to go to 3, but he's bracing.
He probably saying that.
Got the break. Oh no!
Please. For real. You might be right.
Wow for that.
Am I?
All right, baby. This is my last chance this year. Got to get it right. Got to get over that Jesse Davis PTSD. Here we go. Whew. All right. Fake the handoff. I got Armstead over there. Okay, I should be good. Whew, man. Total difference. All right, let's do this. All right, Eichenberg just messed up, but I can still overcome that by taking the go route. Okay. Can't trust Eichenberg or Jackson. Okay.
Hey, please. Hey, yo. Hey, don't ever show that again. Please stop, bro. That's
it was the point.
Hey, it was right.
Eichenberg about to give me killed. Eichenberg about to give me killed. Not on air, though. On air? He going through that on air?
Eichenberg and Jackson.
You're a fool.
I ain't gonna lie. I love it so much. One more.
All right, baby. This is my last chance this year. Got to get it right. Got to get over that Jesse Davis PTSD. Here we go. Whew. All right. Fake the handoff. I got Armstead over there. Okay, I should be good. Whew, man. Total difference. All right, let's do this. All right, Eichenberg just messed up, but I can still overcome that by taking the go route. Okay. Can't trust Eichenberg or Jackson. Okay.
Bro. When you intro with this is my last chance this year, I gotta get it figured out. Come on, bro. Bro, this is ridiculous, bro. Wolfpack emoji in the chat. Put the Wolfpack emoji in the chat for TD.
Well, you know for a fact that's what he thinks when he gets up to under center in shotgun. He's like, oh god, I got Eichenberg over here.
Man, I made that 2 years ago, man.
Bro, wouldn't it be nice if we just had 5 reliable guys we knew we're gonna be good? Hey,
3.
we just knew would be good, and we wouldn't have to worry about it. Every other offensive line, I feel like, got some guys who are just there, available. They ain't worried about no injuries. They dude's gonna be there. Why does it have to be us? That's just like shuffling guys. Like, why can't we just get 5 guys who can play and gonna be there? It just bothers me, man.
Man, I get mad at the Jets. I'm like, how can they get like 8, 9 good old linemen and we out here with 1.5?
And they still trash. And that's the crazy thing. They're still trash. and they still be trash. That's the wildest thing to me. They be having a O-line that's protecting the dude, and he just happens to fall back and just hurt himself.
The Jets, and this man over here saying he's enjoying
trash.
All right, y'all. I just realized I'm 4 minutes late for a whole roundtable launch. So thank y'all for tuning in. As a Jets fan, I must say I enjoy y'all content. Fins up. I love the new about camp. Guys just came back from Disney World. All right, Glenn said I enjoyed the show. Hopefully we can do this show more than once every 2 to 3 weeks. We're doing it every week. We're good. Moving forward, is Jesse coming on this show, Roundtable Sports? No, he's over on the other Roundtable starting right now, waiting on me. Love y'all. See you soon. Sorry, Doug and CB. We got to get out of here. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what.